Hey everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for this soap making video. Now, most of us soapers out there have two soaps that we're pretty much obliged to make at least once, if not once every season. And the first one would be oatmeal milk and honey, which I have done on the channel before. And the second one is a watermelon soap, and these always come up in summer. Now, because it is summer here in Australia, I am going to make that watermelon soap, but I am going to make it different. I'm not going to go for that whole green layer on the bottom and then the white and then the red. I'm actually making a watermelon embed to go inside a soap, which is going to be colored with the brilliant blue just to represent a really sunny sky. Now, to go with my watermelon fragrance, because I love watermelon and mint salad, I have combined my watermelon fragrance with a little bit of peppermint essential oil, and it's given a beautiful freshness to this soap. So let's go and see how I make my summer watermelon and mint soap. Let's go. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is make some seeds to go into my watermelon, and I'm going to use my extruder set. Now, this is the Fimo Professional, and I got this one as a recommendation from Lisa over at I Dream in Soap when I got some of her bigger extruder tools. I am really happy with this. I did pay a lot of money for it. It was about $60 from off of Amazon, and I'll leave a link down in the description box below so you can go and check it out. But I am really impressed with it. You can really feel a difference in quality between this one and that sort of cheap $10 one that you get from off of eBay. So, and it works exactly the same way, but it just feels, I don't know, so much more sturdier. I think I'm going to get better life out of it and that sort of thing. Now, I am going to apologize right now. It is raining heavily, but if you are following along with me on Instagram, I have just actually done a very quick clip showing my cure rack, which has absolutely no soaps on it. I haven't had a chance to make soap in about 5 to 6 weeks. The markets have been cancelled today because the weather is just so bad. And I thought, well, I'll take advantage of my day off and I will come out and I will make some soap. So I've just put some black soap dough in there, and now I'm going to just put the little crank on the top. I'm going to wind it down, and I'm going to extrude some pieces of this soap, and hopefully in that sort of seed shape. The one I'm using, it's like this little teardrop, and it's one of the plates that do come with this extruder. Now, when I do extrude my soap out of here, it does come out a bit curly, but I try and keep it as straight as I possibly can, because it does make it easier to put it into the soap, into the molds later. Alright, so I've got a really nice long piece there. This is the mold I'm going to use. This was a piece of PVC pipe. This is actually one of the pieces I got from Off Wickedly. You can see it's been used a lot. All I'm going to do is I want these to be the same length as my PVC. So I'm just lining it up and just chopping them down to size. Okay, so now I have all of my little seed pieces together. I'm going to go and make the oils ready to fill up this mold. Okay, so I've got the oils and the lye water all ready to go. I also have my fragrance oil here. I've made a bit of a blend here. I've got some watermelon fragrance oil, and I've added in some peppermint essential oil really to lift that up. I love eating watermelon and mint combined together. It's such a great flavor combination, and it makes a really good sort of scent combination as well. You don't need a lot of that peppermint essential oil, just enough to cut through that sweetness of the watermelon fragrance oil and make it bright and fresh. So all I'm now going to do is as I always do, mix my lye water solution and my oils together. We'll pour in the fragrance. I'm going to actually take this up to more of a medium to light trace, pour it into my mold, and then I'm going to insert you can't actually see them on the tray here, but I'm going to insert all of these watermelon seeds into the cylinder mold. Alright, so that is looking really good there. While this is setting up and getting my PVC pipe prepared, I have got some greaseproof paper in here. Lee also makes these caps to fit these bigger sort of pipes. She also does them for her smaller ones, she does as well. All I've got here is some melt and pour that I've melted down. Just poured it into the bottom of the cap there, and then just inserting the PVC pipe into there, and then that will all set up and hopefully we won't get any leaks. So this is actually proving to be a little bit more difficult than I anticipated it to be, but I kind of needed this soap to be this thickness that the actual seeds would stand up in their places. Hopefully they have all stood up in their sort of respectful places as they go down the mold, but in any which case they'll all be different when we go to cut them. What I am going to do is leave this one sit overnight, and we will be back tomorrow and we're going to create a skin to go on the outside of this watermelon soap. Okay, so I am going to do the next step of this. This has got multiple steps in. I really hope this works. I want to make this watermelon soap very different to how other people have made theirs. So I'm really hoping it works, really hoping that this is going to be well worth the effort. I have got another batch of oils here, and I'm going to do the skin of this watermelon. You'll see what we're going to do in just a moment. So I'll do it as I always do, pour the lye water in, mix it up, and then I'm going to split it out for the colours, for those greens and also that sort of little bit of white that we all add in for that rind. So here comes the start of my crazy idea, which I hope is going to work. So I've got a piece of greaseproof paper here, and what I've done on this one side, I have drawn myself a rectangle, and the size I've done it is I've basically worked out how big the circumference of my circle is, and then I've flattened it out because I'm going to create the rind, which I'm then going to wrap around the outside of this soap. So hopefully we've got that all correct, and what I'm now going to do is just pour this soap so that hopefully it goes within that sort of rectangular shape, and we'll get it fairly even. That rain is getting heavier and heavier. It wasn't raining when I first started to get all this together, but it's getting quite bad. Some areas overnight we've had up to, I think they were saying on the radio earlier today, 30 to 50 millimeters in some areas not far from us. That is a lot of rain, especially when we haven't had rain for so long and our ground is quite solid and compact from not having that rain. That's where we then get a lot of the issues over here with the flooding. So hopefully the ground has softened up enough that a lot of this water can actually sort of go away without causing too much trouble, but also we do desperately need it. Our dams are getting really low again. One of them I was quite surprised the other day, it was something like 30% full. I didn't realize it had actually got that bad again. You may have seen I recently went away on holiday. We went to an area called Stanthorpe, and this time last year, Stanthorpe were actually having to truck in drinking water because their dam was empty. Absolutely empty. So they had to actually ship in or truck in water pretty much on a daily basis, just so they could actually drink, have a shower and stuff like that. So hopefully the rain is doing a lot of good for them, and hopefully it is not actually causing issues with flooding like it has done in the past. Look, I think this is actually going to work. It's a little bit rough on this side, but that doesn't matter too much because this is going to be inside. Let's get all of this green sort of in here as well. Alright, so I do want this to saponify overnight, but I don't want it to dry out too much. So what I'm going to do is actually put another tray. I've just inverted the tray over so it doesn't touch the soap, and I'm going to leave it like that. So what should hopefully happen is that soap in there will actually saponify, but the air won't make it too hard. And what I'm going to do is leave this overnight, and then we're going to be back in just a moment. I'm going to unmold this, and then hopefully we'll be able to use some kind of like soap dough and get that wrapped around. Then I will get on to finishing this watermelon soap. It is the next day, and here is our soap. Hopefully this is going to do exactly what I want it to do. Still feels tacky enough that it's going to wrap around that soap. Hopefully it doesn't break. We're going to give this a real good go. It's actually a beautiful sunny day today, so there's no rain falling on the roof today. It is Tuesday. They did say that all of that weather was going to clear up by Tuesday, and they certainly have that right. It is now time to get this one from out of here. That melt and pour has well and truly set on the bottom of here. Let me go and get this one out. Everything's kind of got this real sticky, slimy feel to it from all of the humidity from the rain that we've had. So this is feeling a bit slippery in my hands. That's it. Managed to break the seal. Just needed something so I could grip onto this container. Oh, it is so horrible when we get days and days of rain. We so desperately needed it. But yeah, everything's just got this real, because the oils and everything, it doesn't matter how much you clean, the oils and everything in the shed, it just gets absolutely everywhere. My floor was slippery, so I've had to give it a really good sort of steam mop, and it's still really slippy. So being very, very careful walking around, but that has now come off nicely. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of soap here, that is the perfect size. I am going to start very, very gently rolling this together. Now, because it is still quite humid, I think these are going to stick really well. It's just going to take a little bit of coaxing to get it to work. I may even need to put just a bit of water on here just to get that to all stick together. Oh, how good is that looking? I am so super pleased with it so far. Alright, so what I am now going to do here is actually trim the ends. So let's lay that one on there. trim that end off, which has got that sort of melt and pour. Oh, I've got no seeds down this end. Hopefully some of them did make it down. The other thing I'm going to do is just flip this over and, oops, do this end. Oh, how cute does that look? That's just the very top, so it's not quite stuck there. But let's get that off. That is going to be the inside of our watermelon soap. That is looking so good so far, but I am not finished yet. What I'm going to do is leave this sit here for a little while just so that the stickiness can kind of disappear off this. Then I'm going to come and do a couple of other little things before we put it into our soap mold. Okay, so this has been sitting here and it is now not tacky, so I am ready to start doing the next bits to this. What I want to do is actually cut this in half along there and then use the two halves in my soap mold. So what I know that my soap mold is 43 centimeters long, so I am going to cut this down to 21.5 centimeters. This is also going to be rather telling as to whether or not the seeds have come through to the bottom or not. So let's get that one out of the way, get our little single bar cutter here again. Gonna get this one lined up on here, get the previous bit of soap off, and let's knock it down just a wee bit, and through we go. Okay, so I have got that one piece from off the end there. This will probably go out in someone's order as a little bonus sort of soap. Got it on my scale. It's about 140 grams, so that is about the size of what my normal soaps are. So I will actually give that one away as a freebie. But what we're now going to do, just going to make sure the actual width of this, it's about 9 centimeters on the other end. It's about 9.5 here. So we're going to end up with a bit of a wonky piece of watermelon, but it's going to look different on each bar then. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've got my log splitter. This is the one that I have had from off of Dean at Swirl Soaps, and we're going to cut this one in half. I've set my wire to 4.5 centimeters. Should cut this end in half nicely. It will be a little bit uneven down this other end, but there's not much I can do about that now. What I might do, yep, we'll go that way. Just put my piece of parchment down just to help it glide along. I'm just going to push that all the way through. Oh, doesn't look so nice on that side, but it doesn't look like the seeds have got all the way through to the bottom, but you'll get the general sort of idea that it's going to be a watermelon piece. Does look like we've got a really nice rind on it though, so that is something. I have one more thing I want to do to this before I actually pop it into the soap. So as one last finishing touch, I was thinking about putting some little marks in here to maybe look like someone has taken a bite. So we're going to see if this is going to work. Can't find my cookie cutter with the sort of smaller shape on it. So this one is going to have to do. Let me get this turned around facing me so I can make sure I'm going nice and even all the way down. Oh, that has worked. Oh, that is so exciting. This may actually just pull off the way I wanted it to. I am just going to fill that bit of space back in so it doesn't look like we've completely eaten just that right down to the flesh there, because we don't usually eat that far down. That's going to look alright once it is in the soap. So I'm going to do the same to the other half, and then we're going to come back and we are going to put this into some soap. am really hoping that there is enough soap behind of that watermelon piece. I think there might be. As you saw, I did put that piece of watermelon at this end in the wrong way, and I was going to leave it, and then my OCD said, no, you have to change it so the bite mark goes the same all the way through the soap. But I am really pleased with this one. So I've done the blue to kind of really represent that summer sky with the wisps of clouds through it. It's nothing better than sitting out on a hot summer's day watching the blue sky and clouds, eating a piece of watermelon and that biodegradable glitter. Oh, look at that shine. I am going to leave this one sit overnight, and then we're going to be back very soon, and we're going to see if we've got any air pockets and what the inside looks like. Alright, I am ready to cut into the watermelon soap. Look at the sparkle on there. The ends are looking really promising. This side did get a few little air bubbles, which I'm really surprised at, because this was the side where the flat of that watermelon is. So I shouldn't have had any in that side. I was expecting to see air pockets on that side, but that is looking really promising. Today is a sunny day. Unlike the rest of the video where we've had a whole heap of rain, but I think there is a storm brewing, so we may hear some of the trees knocking against the edge of the shed outside. It's been a stinker of a day. Everything has just been wet, horrid and humid. We've had showers throughout the day, but it's just, I've had the air on all day. It has just been absolutely disgusting. But only a couple more days of this, and then we should be back to our normal summer weather. I am through, and now we're going to take a look. Alright, let's grab this one from off the end. This is absolutely perfect. I am in love with that. This must be where the sort of join is on the back of that watermelon. Does look like someone's taken a great big bite. I've only got one seed in that piece, but this, oh, I've got two on that side. This is absolutely perfect. It is just how I wanted my watermelon soap to come up. Let's grab these two. Oh, we've got a few more seeds there. I am in love with it. It is just, to me, it just says summer. It is nice and bright and happy and cheery. It smells wonderful as well. You've got that sweetness of the watermelon fragrance, but just that slight brightness of that peppermint essential oil through there as well. Seeds are all a little bit down this end near the bite mark. But you know what, seeds in actual watermelons are never uniform anyway. And better if we get one from down this end, which is towards the top. There we go, we've got a few more in there. I'm really surprised that I have hardly any sort of air pockets. There is a little bit of one in there, but that's just where the rind hasn't stuck. But I'm going to be able to easily fix that with just a little bit of smoothing over. I am so stoked with how this watermelon one has turned up. That looks perfect how those seeds are, and that great big bite out of it. Love how the skin has come up. I've got that sort of perfect skin white flesh ratio with the delicious fruit on the inside too. Really pleased. I hope you have enjoyed watching how I did my watermelon soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.